Let's talk about Jenny McCarthy, the woman who was once a priestess in that cathedral of shrieking, the television show known as The View, that temple of manufactured outrage. She didn't just visit, she took a seat at the altar, a full co-host, handed the chalice, and expected to bless the communion. The producers of The View anointed her with a mandate: make us less polarizing. As if a woman sculpted from Playboy centerfolds and earthquake laughter could exorcise the demons the show itself had conjured and fed for ratings. They wanted a giggle where there was only gargling with broken glass. They wanted a puff of cotton candy to stuff in the ears while the sirens wailed. So Jenny took her throne, all platinum and pep, a queen expecting to hold court over rose ceremonies and rumbas. Instead, they handed her the keys to the armory and said, "Today, we debate the ethics of drone strikes over coffee." A brief word on today's support. This episode is brought to you by Timothy Renier Insurance. As an independent agent now offering auto insurance in Arizona, Timothy leverages his expertise to secure tailored coverage that fits your life and budget. For a quote that saves you both money and time, call 602-341-5290. License number 6734192. This is the exquisite betrayal. To be hired as a host, not a guest, not an interloper, but a host, one of the named guardians of the hearth, only to find the hearth was a blast furnace, and your job was to toss yourself on the pyre for warmth. She was architecture, not decoration. She was meant to be a load-bearing wall in their new, less polarizing design. And every day the architects asked her to hold up the weight of discussion she never blueprinted, on foundations she knew were quicksand. I just know who won Dancing with the Stars. This wasn't a guest's complaint from the cheap seats. It was the cri de coeur of a builder given the wrong tools, watching the house collapse onto itself every morning at 11. And now, years after her reign ended, they have the gall, the breathtaking chutzpah, to ask the former queen to return as a court jester. To come back not as a host but as a guest. A walk-on in the very narrative that spat her out. A reunion special? It's a taxidermist request. They don't want to resurrect her tenure. They want to stuff it and mount it on the wall as a trophy, a relic from their wilderness years before they embrace their true, glorious, and monstrous polarity. Over my dead body. The phrase isn't just a refusal, it's a sovereign's decree. A host owns a piece of the territory. A guest is merely a visitor on a visa that can be revoked at the first wrong word. The temple, of course, has found its true high priestess, a Regina George in lawyer's clothing, for whom nuance is a heresy and every conversation is a heresy trial. The show Jenny was hired to soften has now sharpened itself into a single, unforgiving point. To return as a guest would be to kneel before that altar, to tacitly bless the very orthodoxy that made a mockery of her original hosting mandate. They would use her, the former host, as a benchmark to show how far they've evolved, how serious they've become. See how we used to cater to frivolity? Now we deal in blood and truth. She refuses, because to return as a guest is to be demoted by history. It is to accept that her hosting was a placeholder, a silly season, before the real grim adults took back the table. But here's the twist they can't stomach. She's the one who graduated. She survived her own hosting. She inhaled the toxic air and built her own immune system, finding opinions that are hers, forged in life and love and a thankfulness for an administration that, to her, feels like oxygen after that green room smog. She owns her voice now, in a way the show's structure never allowed. So let them have their one-sided sermon. Let them issue their hollow invitations to the former host they never understood how to use. The power move isn't in another shout into their cacophony. It's in the absolute, final, and delicious silence of the no. She was a host. She will not be their guest. She has left the building. And the building, for all its noise, is now just a mausoleum for a kind of conversation she was hired to save, but that they were already too addicted to killing. The last laugh isn't on air. It's hers, and it's echoing far away from that set, where the only thing left to view is their own reflection, sharp, polarizing, and utterly tragically alone. And if this article resonates within you, then let that recognition be recorded by hitting the like button. Furthermore, if you deem this podcast's arguments amplified for the common good, then you are requested to subscribe.